right. So, welcome to Serving It Raw with the side of tea. Um, Today, y'all, I am here with a special guest, Haley. And we're going to talk about Beyond the Pole, building a new narrative where we explore the transformative journey of Haley and who she has embraced as a stripper, as well as pursuing life goals and being a mother. So, welcome, Haley.
Hey,
Usually I say welcome to the couch, but we on Zoom today,
period.
so welcome.
Period.
Today's tea is after doing a little research, I found that 89% of strippers come from a religious household and
Wow.
90% still have relationships with their parents. What are your thoughts on this, Haley?
Well, you know what? That sounds about right because most hoes come from the church. I'm just gonna be honest about it. Most hoes come from the church because it's like growing up in a conservative home or like having to look a certain type of way or be a certain type of way. You bound to be sneaky, and you bound to venture off into like things on the opposite spectrum, and it just be like that.
I have to
So
agree.
it makes sense. It make a lot of sense for real. 89%. Damn. That's a lot. But it makes total sense though. So yeah.
Okay. So your icebreaker is for today is who is Haley?
Haley is that motherfucking girl. Haley is very special. Haley is everything. Haley is all. Um, there's so many. I'm just like so multifaceted for real, for real. I cannot even name like everything that I am. I just am.
Okay. So, let's go ahead and get into this episode because I got a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
But before we start, I just want to talk about how we met. Okay. So I met Haley. Haley was, I don't know, were you in middle school?
Girl, yes, I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah. So her cousin, and I was staying with her cousin for a summer, and Haley and her sisters came down, and I was watching them. And I think I was gonna go off to college. Yes, it was my
Yeah.
first year. And they were just so like the cutest, like they were just so cute. It was just three of them. They were so cute. They were so sweet. And then like later, we kept in contact because I dated her cousin. And then later on, she ended up attending my alma mater, which is where her family, all most of her family members attended. Her mom, her dad.
Mhm.
And I think I was working there when you were going there.
Mhm.
So I was working there, and then like I just saw like Haley just grow up into something like from this little girl, like
Yeah.
with like two strand twist, and to this like you just embracing who you were and your beauty. And and I feel like as a kid, like you said, you coming from a conservative home, and both of us grew up in the church. Even with you coming here, we was always at church.
Yes,
um, and so like me seeing you just grow up over the years has been very interesting.
I
'Cause
bet.
yeah, because I was just so surprised. I was like, hold on, this Haley?
Everybody got the same reaction. It's like, and then it's like everybody always want to pull the good girl gone back bad card. And I'm like, it really ain't even that. Like for real, for real. Like I said, like I always say, I just started embracing different versions of myself, and shit, I was able to monetize a whole bunch of them. So
Okay. So, after I watched the documentary series of P Valley, I was like, I got to get Haley on the show.
down in
Um,
the valley.
yes, because I think sometimes, like you said, when people look in from the outside, like we just be like, why this person doing this or why this person doing that. But after watching the show, the episode that you were on, like I got a different perspective of everything. And I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to see like where you at, like where your, you know what I'm saying, where your mind at and you know how everything going. So a couple of years ago, I think I had just graduated from college, but I was online and it was a stripper who's in Atlanta. And we went to like we probably cheered together like in middle school or something. And she was just saying how like a lot of people are always in her inbox asking her like, how did you become a stripper? I want to become a stripper, but she said she will not reply back to them because once you get in it, it's hard to get out. And
Mhm.
doesn't want to be that person that introduced, you know, them to that lifestyle. So like what are your thoughts on that?
That's definitely a real thing. I've turned down a lot of girls for that reason, especially if I don't see it in you for real, for real. Like if I feel like you finna just go do some shit trying to get revenge about a nigga or something, or you just want to go have fun or something, like girl, no, this ain't for you. But like if you going through, you need a way out for real, okay, I'm finna put you on game because that's where I was too. A lot of girls join for different reasons, but most of the reasons be kind of the same shit. Everybody needs some motherfucking money. So like I try not to turn down people because I know people need the advice. But at the same time, shit, I did research. Google is free and everybody got phones.
Mm, true.
Do your damn research.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. So with you being on the episode, first of all, how did you get on the episode? That's what I want to know.
Girl, first of all, when they reached out to me on Instagram, I thought they was goddamn spam. I couldn't even believe. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Stars, huh? I'm like, this gotta be spam or something. So I looked over it for months. They reached out to me in like February of, I think it was cold outside. It was like February of last year. I ignored it because I thought it was damn spam. And then they got reintroduced to me through an old colleague of mine. And she and Miss Lisa from the same episode, from the episode, they were already close or whatever. So they were looking for a sex worker who is also hoodoo, and that would be me. And
Yeah.
so when she told me about it, I immediately went to Miss Lisa's office, her shop in Memphis, Memphis Conjure. Shout out to Memphis Conjure. Shout out to Memphis Conjure. And we talked about the role or whatever, and it went from there. But like I say, I had been ignoring them because I thought they was damn spam, girl. I was like, who is this 0.0 production company wanting me like to do stuff? But so like what happened was they were looking for strippers in Memphis. So they was like kind of going on like different like the different club pages and shit like that. So I don't know how the fuck they found me originally. I ain't gonna even lie. That's between God for real because I'm like out of so many girls, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah,
So how was it like just being on the episode and being authentic about your journey with everything?
it was cool. Like it was very free flowing. It came natural to me. And it was very spiritual, of course, and very freeing in a lot of ways. Very.
Okay. So I know in the episode you mentioned that growing up you really never embraced your beauty and body until college when you continue to receive compliments from people. How did embracing your beauty and body change who you were?
Who I became a hoe girl. Oh, it was the wrong kind of hoe too. Like I was kind of sheltered, like just a little bit. I didn't get a chance to do everything, but I wasn't too sheltered, but I was a little bit sheltered. And when I went to college, girl, I just started, oh, girl, am I cussing too much? Can I
No,
cuss?
you good.
Ah, okay. Girl, I was just fucking. And it just made me feel like, when you a young girl, you start smelling yourself, you start, being with older men in college because there are older men in college.
Mhm.
You start smelling yourself, and I thought I was the baddest bitch then.
Yeah.
So that was, and I gained a lot of confidence. I really did. And I gained a lot of friends. I found out I was like very, very attractive, just, all around. Um, as a freshman, I had upperclassmen, niggas, friends. Everybody loved Haley. Like, it was just a big thing.
So, do you think it allowed you to be bold in your sexuality?
Absolutely. That's when my sexual liberation really began. Like, for real, for real. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I still don't give a fuck. But I don't give a fuck. And I didn't give a fuck. But the only thing I would have had was the motherfucking game, because when you just fucking to be fucking, you just fucking to be fucking, and it's just a nut.
Right.
But I didn't get nothing up out of it but a damn compliment, like a dumbass and a wet ass. But other than that, it still boosted my confidence, and it still, you know what I'm saying, molded me in some shape, way, or fashion into the woman that I am today. So, because if it had not been for that little boost, you know what I'm saying, I probably wouldn't be as confident. Because when I was coming up, I wasn't ugly. I always been a little cute girl. I never was like butt ugly or anything, but I didn't really know that I was a pretty girl.
Right.
Like, and I didn't really know, coming up, I'm taught that, your looks can't really get you through the door. And that's a motherfucking lie.
Hmm.
Beauty and brains, yeah, that's cool, but sometimes it's beauty over brains. Like, sometimes your beauty just gets you through the door because you look good. Ain't nobody gonna say it out loud, but I'm gonna say that part out loud because it's true. It's what you call pretty privilege.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you
yeah.
think that you talked about game, right? You wish that you were put up on game. Do you think with, your mom and dad being married and you coming from a, well niche, what I'm saying, home or whatever, that maybe if it was the other way around, you probably would have been put up on game a little bit more? Or did you always just think like, oh, it was always gonna be greener on the other side? Like,
I definitely wish I could have been put up on game a little bit earlier in my life. But that also came from me not being out loud with who I wanted to be too. Because there are people in my family who own game. Shoot, my mama own game. My mama always told me, get your motherfucking money. Don't let no nigga, you know what I'm saying, drain your pockets. I always make him buy you stuff because that's what my daddy do for my mama. I've always seen it. Um, I just feel like if I would have been more bold and out loud with myself early on, I could have been on game earlier myself. But it took me later in life to figure out really who, I ain't gonna say later in life, but it took me to 18, 19 to step into my sexual liberation and just embracing who I am, as a sexual being.
okay. So you come from a well-established family. What made you to decide to become a stripper?
Oh, I had lost everything. I was in this relationship years ago. And when he left me, I lost everything within like 3 or 4 weeks. So, like, the apartment, I got evicted from the apartment. I lost my car. No, I lost my car first. I lost my car, totaled out my car, got evicted, and then broke off an engagement all within like 3 or 4 weeks.
Mm,
So I said, fuck this. I need some motherfucking money. Because my parents ain't never been the type to spoil me. Like, I never been the spoil type. You know what I'm saying? I've always had to work.
mm-hmm.
But shit, I needed some motherfucking money. I lost everything. I'm like, hell no, fuck this. I need some money. I need it fast. And so that's what it was.
Okay. So what are your family thoughts about you being a stripper?
I don't know. I don't give a fuck. That ain't my business.
So are you home doing it in Memphis or are
I
you
can't hear you.
can you hear me?
No.
Hold on. Can you hear me now? I don't know what happened.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. Were you home? Are you home stripping or are you just you traveling?
No, I travel, but I'm
Okay.
taking a break right now. I be taking breaks and stuff because that shit take a toll on my mental.
Okay.
So I'm taking a break right now.
How does that work like with you having relationships?
Oh, you talking about romantic relationships?
Mhm.
Oh, my boyfriend, he all for it. Well, he cool with whatever I'm with.
Oh, that's good. I
Mm,
did read, I think like in my research, it was like 81% of women who are married and strip. It's a lot. And I'm like,
absolutely, because yeah, because I mean, what people need to understand is that stripping is a job just like a 9 to 5. We just work overnight.
"Mm,
That's it. That's all. Like people look at stripping like, oh, you're a stripper. It's just a job. So, and people have real lives. A lot of girls are married. A lot of girls are in relationships. Like most girls are in relationships.
okay.
Most girls got kids. Like got real shit going on.
So I know that you're also a mother of a beautiful little girl. What are
Yes.
some misconceptions people have about strippers that you think affect how they view you as a parent?
Oh, of course. People don't think strippers are the best moms. People think that strippers are, first of all, people think that strippers are by default hoes. So, like, damn, if we have little girls, like, they really feel like we can't raise little girls to be respectful and conservative and all that type of shit. And I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Eden don't see none of it. She is smart as hell. She don't even cuss. She don't want to cuss. So like it just depends on it boils down to everybody's individual parenting. Like some bitches unfit, some bitches be the best mama. I'm just striving to be the best mama I can be.
I think that's a good thing. I like what you said, how you separate the two. You know how to separate the two. So like my child not gonna see what I got going on, but you still know that I'm providing for you, but you ain't gotta know what I'm how I'm providing for you.
Exactly.
Especially with them being little girls.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you feel being a stripper has impacted your self-image as a parent?
No, because I don't give a fuck. I don't think about shit like that. I don't. I just be the best mama I can be. People don't even know I strip till they get on my social media. Cause
Mm,
I dress, I'm covered, I'm covered up. I don't wear whole clothes. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Most strippers don't. You don't even know we strip until we say we strip.
Yeah. Cause I be
For
seeing
real.
some online who be like nurses and stuff. They be going into work in the daytime and then at night I'm like, hold on, like them two different people.
Yes, you learn how to be multifaceted. You learn like by default, you learn how to be. You learn I guess the duality of it. So like you always got to learn how to turn it on and turn it off. Always. You got to. That's part of the game anyway.
Yeah. So I know you just mentioned how, your journey became, how you got evicted, and you lost a lot. Do you feel that stripping became your saving grace?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It did.
So
Shit.
do you are most of your friends like strippers or are you just
No, I'm the only stripper friend. I
uh,
have one friend that's a dancer, but she almost retired now. But I don't
yeah.
no.
All right. So I've been so curious about this. What is hoodoo?
Hoodoo is first of all, hoodoo is a practice, not a religion.
Okay.
Hoodoo and voodoo are not the same.
Okay.
Hoodoo is a practice that derived from the African slave trade. So basically it's the practice that um it stems from African spirituality or whatever. So it's the secret practice that we had to do behind closed doors, um, so that it wouldn't be obvious that we were still practicing African spirituality. So within hoodoo, we venerate and divinate our ancestors. We recognize them. We feed them. Um, and we don't worship them. It's like I say, it's not a religion. Hoodoo teaches you to recognize those who come before you so you can know how to, pass on these traditions, pass on these practices, pass on the knowledge of the ancestors so that you could, have the life that you're meant to have.
How did you get into hoodoo?
I got into hoodoo. Actually, Chanel, my oldest sister, introduced me to hoodoo in 2020. It was when I had Eden and I was going through postpartum real bad. And I had just left the church for real, for real. And I was just going through postpartum, losing my motherfucking mind. And I was going to my sister for guidance. And she was just telling me like little spells and little things to do, whatever. So she finally told me to research hoodoo and what it was. And I went from there.
Okay. So do you still consider yourself like I know you talked about a lot of things happened in the church. I know that you left the church and do you still consider yourself Christian or how do you
I am not religious
Okay.
at all.
Okay. Um is your dad is still a minister?
Yes.
How does he feel?
We don't talk about that.
Okay. That's
Yeah, we don't. We
so they respect.
Yes, they respect me now. They used to make fun of me back in the day, but they respect me now. I ain't gonna put them on blast, but they had they foot on my neck for a long time. But now all is well now, and they respect what I do. Finally, I guess because it paid off.
Do you feel that I know a lot of us the younger generation are like really kind of leaving the churches and looking for I mean, I think that some of us are still religious, and we still have our beliefs, but we're looking for God in our own way. Because we feel as we grew up, we always knew God through other people, based off of what our family members told us or something like that. So, do you feel that the way you grew up or the way that your parents, grew up or kind of forced, and I hate to say forced, but kind of forced religion on us, do you feel that kind of push you away from the church and how you look at certain things when it comes to the church?
Mm-mm. And I say no because when I got grown, I continued to go to church on my own,
Right.
and I enjoyed it. I'm never gonna lie and try to cap like I didn't enjoy church because I still enjoy church and I still go to church. But it was what I experienced and it was what I came to recognize that was not so good for my spirituality. And it was when I started noticing patterns. It was when I started noticing that things weren't making sense for me.
Mhm.
It was when I started noticing that mm, like maybe if I pull back from this a little bit, that you know what I'm saying? Like I just started noticing patterns and shit. Like the older I got, the smarter I got, the wiser I got. I just started noticing just churches wasn't it just started not being for me anymore.
So when you say you're not religious, what does that mean to you?
That means I don't have a when it comes to religion, there is no label.
Okay. Okay. So mm-mm. In the episode, the hoodoo lady who did your reading, she told you all the things that she saw in your future. What are your thoughts on that, and what is next for Haley?
So Miss Lisa, yeah, she told me a couple of things about my life, about my music career, and I took all that and ran with it. And what's next for me is something so big that I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Okay. Are you like looking back into music? I did see you had some music. So are you
Yeah.
back into music?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm still doing music, still writing. It's just more of that coming from me. I know I've been quiet with music. I've been singing my whole life, and
Right.
people do not know that. And I am like kind of embarrassed by that because I am a musician. I know music. I sing well. I am very well versed. So it's just time to jump back into that and let the world know.
Who you are, what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, what is one of your biggest fears while being a stripper?
One of my biggest fears is losing my life behind it. Because who gonna take care of my baby?
Mm,
Don't nobody take care of your child like you do.
right.
That's like one of my biggest fears, not making it home. Cause somebody didn't follow me home, or something happened in the club, or a girl got jealous, or somebody slipped something in my drink. Anything can happen. And I get robbed. Anything can happen. These girls get robbed, shot, killed, raped, stabbed. This shit happens. It's a blessing to be coming home from work. I don't take that for granted at all. So yeah, that's one of my I'm getting shook up now. That's one of my biggest fears, not making it home to my baby.
So how long are you planning on continuing to be a stripper? Or do you have like other alternative plans? What you got going?
This music shit gonna take off for me. So I'm not going into my 30s dancing. I'm 29. This is my last year.
Okay.
And I need to knock on some damn wood. But I don't plan on going into my 30s dancing. That's just a personal goal for me. 30 is too motherfucking old. You should be doing other shit for real.
I like that. Okay. So now we are at the end, okay? And we always do a question called How Raw Are You? So you be very transparent with the question and everything. So, what are some valuable lessons you've learned about life, parenting, and self-acceptance through your experiences?
Number one, you cannot give a fuck what other people think. That not giving a fuck has helped me throughout my entire fucking life. Like, once you give somebody your power, that's it. Once you give a fuck about what somebody think about you, their perspective of you, that's it. It blemishes, like it kind of like distorts your whole vision of yourself. You never want to give nobody that's giving somebody your power. When you adhering and listening to somebody that for one don't already give a fuck about you. Two, not even giving you the best advice. They giving you advice for them and not for you. So you better off always listening to yourself. You always want to listen to yourself. You always want to listen to that inner voice, that still voice. And you just always don't give a fuck about what nobody got to say about you. It just gets you farther in life. That not giving a fuck, but also giving a fuck at the same time. You can't just not give a fuck about shit in your life. Like, I ain't saying don't listen to nobody or whatever, but at the end of the day, you got your best interests at heart. You know what you want to do. And whatever you want to do, I feel like you should do it.
How did you get there? Like the mindset of just like not giving a fuck, like just taking your power back. How did you get there?
Um, I got there when I realized that life just feels better when I'm not listening to what somebody got to say about me, especially when it's not what I think of me.
Hmm.
If what I think of me is not aligning with what you thinking of me, I got to pick me over you because I'm going in the ground by myself. I ain't going in the ground with nobody else. So like it was around 2021 where I just stopped giving a fuck. Like, this is my life. I have to live this life. Nobody else.
And so that's even with, how you, like when you made the comment earlier, like, I don't care how any of my family members feel about what I'm doing. And that's like where
Right.
you adopted that mindset. Like, I don't
Yes.
care.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I think it started at home for real. Cause I always been like a little rebel, just a little bit, just a little bit. Because what I like to do feels good. And
Mm.
I'm gonna do what feels good to me.
Right.
So I'm all about the energy. I'm all about, cultivating good vibes and good energy. And when it feels good, I'm vibrating higher. And that's what I always want to do, vibrate at my highest. That's when I'm at my fullest potential. And that's when I can do good shit.
Okay. So, before this episode, you thought what? And now you know what?
Before this episode, I thought I was lost. I thought I didn't have no purpose. And now I got a whole lot of purpose. I got a whole lot of destiny. I got a whole lot of shit to do. I got a whole lot of music to write. I got shit to do
Okay.
for real.
So let me see. Before this episode, I thought like so I was so confused. I'm like, Haley. I used to be on social media. I'm like, Haley, like why? And now because I just remembered this little girl. And now,
Yeah.
and so like um and now I know like you just sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And
Yeah.
you're confident in yourself when you do it. So it's not like, I'm out here and I'm insecure about what I'm doing. So this is why I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? But I know what I'm doing. I know
Mm-hmm.
why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not insecure about what I'm doing. Because it's a purpose behind everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that about you. And I was telling one of my friends when I had watched the show, I was like, oh my gosh. I said, I got to get Haley on the show. I said, I got to get her on the podcast. I said, because this episode was so good. And sometimes when we look in and we don't know like the background of somebody, what they've been through, like we instantly like judging because
Judge.
we looking at like, oh, I knew her when she was little, like what, like I know her family, like she ain't wanting for nothing, like why she doing this. And at the end I remember like the last time I seen you, I was in Memphis, I was living in Memphis, I was gonna move back to Georgia, and you had did my makeup and my hair for me. And I had took pictures, and I'm like, Haley was just with her mama. Like, she just seemed like she was okay. Like, what's going on? But at the end of the day, it's like sometimes we got to stop judging people based off of what we think that person is going through, because because we don't know. We never know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have never known you was evicted. I would have never known you had lost everything or anything like that. Like, I'm just looking like, nah, what? Haley just out here doing stuff now. Like, what is you doing?
Yeah, everybody thought that. And I'm like, y'all, I ain't never been the bitch that had everything. Where the fuck y'all been at? I ain't never been the bitch that was spoiled. Never had the sweet 16 car outside. Where the fuck y'all, what the fuck y'all talking about? Like for
But you
real,
know
like
what, Haley? I think people look at that when people parents are together and they in these households that they think like, oh, okay, they got it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at myself like my mom wasn't married to my daddy, so like I know like I didn't have everything that I wanted, but I got my mama made sure that I got everything I needed. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I think sometimes just people who come from broken homes look at people who are in homes that are together, and we just think like, oh, they got it made. And it
yeah.
don't be like that all the time.
Hell no, it don't be like that. It don't be like that most of the time.
Right.
With two-parent households. Shit. I ain't gonna spill my folks' tea, but yeah.
But yeah, so like you learn. And like even with when Ari came to Rust and I learned things and I started, realizing like, okay, so maybe it ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? Because, she would talk to me and then you would talk every now and then when you were, still going to Rust. So like it's just I think, people are quick to judge and not just ask people like, you good? Like, you know what I'm saying? You straight? And not realizing like everybody who becomes a stripper is not insecure. Like
Yes.
that's
Oh my
something, what
God.
I'm saying? Like you said, we going to get us a 9 to 5. Like this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Judging you for being what you want to do.
Exactly. And ultimately, it was me being able to monetize my beauty and my sexuality at the same time. Like, it didn't really have nothing to do with Breaking Bad or rebelling or just wanting to be this. You know what I'm saying? Just wanting to be this bad girl or whatever. I just thought I was doing myself a favor and making me some money for doing what I want to do any motherfucking way.
Yeah. Well, I say kudos to you. I'm proud of you and everything that you have done, and I wish you nothing but the best in the future. I love how you said that your 30s, you're not going into that. Like you finna go ahead and, revamp everything, revamp your life. Um, and that's good. So, I'm always a call away, text away, whatever. But I appreciate you for coming on today and sharing everything that you shared because I know people be wondering,
Yeah,
seriously wondering, like, okay, so wait a minute, they stripping, what they got going on? Um,
man.
yeah, so that's the perspective that you gave is really good. And yeah, so I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, Brittany.
Yes, you're welcome. Y'all already know what to do. Keep serving it raw, y'all, and I will see y'all next time. All right, let me pause. Stop.